Let's get back to the UAE, where the World Government Summit held today in Dubai paraded global leaders who brought in their perspectives and solutions to some of the perplexing crises that the world currently faces. One of those leaders is Paul Kagame, the president of Rwanda, in a conversation at the Dubai conference.
Countries, nations, regions, international institutions should be there, in fact, should have been there to ensure that there is a capacity to actually prevent these things that consume people's lives and like lives are worthless, to prevent that or to quickly stop that wherever it is taking place. But we don't see that happening. So there is a big question mark, therefore, to those in whose hands there is so much power that they have all kinds of resources to use for that to happen, and yet it doesn't happen. So we need to go back to the basics. There must be things that people know, whether it is equality, whether it is a fight against division, and preventing people using divisive politics to which underlies, in most cases, these tragic happenings across the world.
So as the people of Rwanda remember 30 years ago, where almost 1 million people died, were killed, what do you call on the international community to do right now?
Well, I don't know what is new that I would call the world to do that we didn't call the world to do in the past, or at that time it was happening. But that is a very significant signal that the world is not learning much from what is happening or what has happened in the past to be able to prevent such a situation from occurring. So what is it there that I can tell the world that that can influence the world to operate differently? I don't know. But for those of us who have experienced these situations and circumstances, we've learned our lessons. In fact, one lesson learned is that for countries, that's why I said countries need to build their own capacities. There are also going to be times when you are on your own. And even for things that should attract support or, synergies across, because there is no one country that has everything. When you need such, it will not happen. It won't be coming. So. And
you'll be on your own.
You'll be on your own.
It's a very, very important point. Speaking of being on your own, Africa only now has a permanent seat on the G20, and that's through the AU. Antonio Guterres, the UN chief, is calling for a permanent seat for Africa at the UN Security Council. For far too long, frankly, Mr. President, Africa has not been included in influencing global decisions. Do you think that these two seats, these two changes, hopefully at the UN Security Council as well, but at the G20, is going to change that?
Well, those two seats are long overdue. One would ask, why did it not happen 10, 20 years ago, or even more? Why is it even being talked about now? And in reality, with the G20, it's beginning to happen. But here I want to say this. There are two problems. One is we, Africa itself, we need to organize, to be together, to have a voice, a strong voice, because there are many resources on our continent. Why don't we leverage that so that the rest of the world also is interested in working with us in a cooperative way, rather than just telling people to follow what they have decided. So that is one part. The other part is what I alluded to earlier, the power that is wielded by a number of countries in this world should also be used rationally and reasonably, and get to understand that Africa, for example, is as important as they are, so that, and they are not there to just be, Africa is not there to be influenced, or to take sides according to the lines they have decided or determined. So those two things must be addressed. How rational the powerful parts of the world are and how they use their power. The second is for Africa to understand and to know that it's actually powerful in many ways. Because
Absolutely.
Africa has enormous resources.
It's got everything.
Yes, human and other resources.